Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Newscast. It is Friday, so here's all of your retro handhelds, retro gaming, and gaming news. But before all of that, I promise it'll be quick. The Play Retro Games Club has been a massive success. So thank you to everybody who's been joining. Our Game of the Week especially, and for some reason ROM Hack of the Month, has been taken off. And so many of you are playing and completing, and it's awesome, and it's great. So thank you to everybody who's been joining, and if you haven't, join the Discord, come play with us. But there's a lot of you, or some of you, or partial of you, that reached out and don't like Discord for whatever reason. You're like, I don't like Discord. Okay, that's fine. I'm working on a forum for this. It's going to be a Play Retro Games Club forum. I don't know what it'll be after, if it'll be a general, like here, talk about devices type thing, but the whole point of me making it is to replicate what I'm doing on Discord, but in a forum, so that those that don't like Discord aren't left out. And I kind of noticed that there is no good option if you don't like Discord. So why not be the option that people need? Long story short, I am still working on it. I'm working on the voting feature at the moment. I'm working on porting over all the features that I have from Discord to the forum. That does mean that it's going to take some time. It could be as early as next week. I don't know, but August is kind of busy for me, so we'll see how long this takes, but I am working on it. So long story short, those of you that have been anti-Discord for whatever reason, and you wanted a forum instead, and you can use your Google account, so you don't even need to create a whole account. Just wait a little bit longer, and then you'll have it. I don't know how popular this might be. I don't know how many people care about this, but I put in a lot of work on this for the amount of people that might join. But either way, I'll let you all know when it's ready, and then if you want to pop in and play through a forum, then you could do that if you want. Okay, jumping over into device news now, and I think the world just hates me. Whenever I make a video about an emulator, they go and just up and change everything. It happened with Obtainium recently. It's happening with Melon Dual DS as well. RC5, Release Candidate 5, 0.7.0, is going to be the last version of Melon Dual DS that uses that name. And then going forward, they're going to be called Watermelon DS. That's their name, is what it's going to be called going forward. Now, just quickly, before that, what's new in RC5 is that there's complete retro achievements, hardcore stability, RA offline proxy integration, which I just finished doing a video on, that's coming up soon, and better hardcore disconnect recovery UI. So all of this is retro achievements related. But the big news here is the next release will be Watermelon DS. That means it's going to move to a whole new identity, a new name, a new interface, a new icon, and a new experimental Vulkan path called Fast Path. That's apparently meant to improve performance while using Vulkan at high internal resolutions, which is really cool. And then the developer says that after Watermelon DS comes out, they want to focus on resolving the open issues in the repository and then polishing things. So a lot of bug fixes, not so many features and all of that. So I do want to point out, for those of you that are using my Obtainium JSON or anybody else's, that is going to update pretty soon. This is likely going to be a new package ID if I'm understanding correctly, which means that Melon DS at some point is going to get an error in Obtainium. Don't freak out. All that means is you're going to have to uninstall Melon DS, install Watermelon DS, point it to the same place that you had pointed to your ROMs and all of that, and you're good to go. You will have to do settings and all that again because there isn't consistent settings across this, but the settings are pretty simple. They're not difficult. So either way, keep that in mind. Just keep an eye out. Have you ever wanted to play Zelda 3 on Android with 2 screens? Well, you can now. There is a GitHub project, Zelda 3 Android, which is a port of Zelda 3 to Android with a second screen mod for dual screen devices like the AYN Thor. So as you can imagine, it's the map on that second screen. A lot of times it's your items, it's all of the things that you would usually push start for or whatever to go and see. All of that is on the second screen now. So if you want to check that out, it's not the only cool port that we're going to talk about this week, but it is cool. So check it out. Speaking of cool ports, I know a lot of people like Morrowind. I'm not going to count myself among them, but a lot of people like Morrowind. Well, if you have an AYN Thor, there is now a second screen, Open Morrowind DS, Open MW DS, whatever you want to call it, and it uses that second screen for pretty much what you would expect, the map, but it's a whole different HUD. So there's a bunch of different things. You can see inventory, spells, stats, journal, your health, all of that, and then the map. So it's actually really cool, and it works with Open MW. So if you want to check that out, again, like the Zelda port, you can do so. There's going to be a whole lot of these going forward, a whole lot of them. We're going to talk about another one let's just do it right now. Pokemon Red Recomp. This is, okay, hold on. We're going to explain this one for a second. This is Pokemon Generation 1, so Pokemon Red, I'm not going to say HD 2D, but you can do that. You can zoom the camera down, and you can see yourself in like, what is that? I call it HD 2D. It's the Octopath style. I don't know what other people call it. They say it's a Love 2D recreation. I don't know what Love 2D is, but I know that it looks awesome. So it is Pokemon Red with a whole bunch of new features. But the one that got me was that you tilt the camera down and you now have Pokemon in Octopath style without the bloom and all of that. This is available on Android, Linux, Mac, Windows, wherever you want to play Pokemon Red. I may have to play this because this is awesome. I need to see more of this. It is getting very frequent updates, so you maybe want to wait for a stable version, but you should check this out. This is really cool. Last of the mods or ports that we're going to talk about this week, Ocarina of Time 3D, the 3DS game, now has a single experience mod. So you can play all of Ocarina of Time 3D on a single screen without needing that second screen. They've modded it to make it so that it's just one single screen adventure, which sure, you know what? Sure, whatever. Why not? If you're going to do it, sure, why not? Let it work on single screens. You don't need the dual screen. It is a wide screen from what I can see. There's a few things that they're doing differently here. There's a whole bunch of different hotkeys that you can use to pull up all of the different things because you're going to need a lot more hotkeys to be able to do everything. But this is cool. All these projects are really cool. Like, I love seeing all of this. I don't know if I'll actually play them all, but if you want to do a single screen Ocarina of Time 3D using Azahar or whatever, you can do so. That's pretty awesome. Last of the software news, and Xbox backwards compatibility is finally coming to PC, starting with Xbox games. So it looks like Blinks, the Time Sweeper, Fusion Frenzy, Crimson Skies, and Conquer Reloaded, or Conquer, Live and Reloaded, which is a good time because that is our game of the month still. So if you want to come play, you could just go play that version, which is probably a lot better than the N64 version. My excitement for this is not because of these games. My excitement for this is that apparently somebody did some digging and found out they're actually using an Xbox 360 emulator to do all of this, which is where my excitement comes from because I want to see some Xbox 360 games on PC. And I've said this so many times, but like Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, Dragon Age Origins, the console edition that you can use a handheld for, and then I guess Banjo and Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, which I've never played before, but I was told to play. So like those 4 games are on my list of like, let's get those on PC. Lost Odyssey especially. Whenever that comes to PC for backwards compatibility, we are going to do a special game of the season for just that game. I'm going to do a special one off. No points, no nothing. We're just going to go play it because more people need to play Lost Odyssey, and I don't know how else to get you to play it besides forcing it on you. Anyways, there's going to be a lot more Xbox games coming up pretty soon, I'm sure. I don't know when 360 will arrive. It'll probably be a long time. But I'm excited for this. This is really cool. This is what I've been waiting for. Let me know in the comments what you think, if it's something on your radar. Okay, so question of the week. And I am playing Final Fantasy 16. I am about 2 or 3 missions near the end. But this game has dragged since the first few hours. It dragged and dragged and dragged and dragged, and I've been playing. I don't even pay attention anymore. I take 2 steps, there's a cutscene, I'm like, okay, I put it down, I go on my phone. I am so uninvested in what is happening in Final Fantasy 16 that I'm done with it. But like, I haven't put it down. I've been finishing it because I need to finish it. I just need to get it over with. I need to get it off my plate. So my question of the week to you is, what's the last game that you had that experience with? What's the last game that you've been hating every minute of it, like, or disliking every minute of it till the end, but you're like, I just have to do it. I have to finish this for whatever reason. I'm not going to say I'm a sane person at all for this, like not at all, but like I need to finish it. It's a Final Fantasy game. I have to finish it. That's where I'm at. But it sucks because I was enjoying the beginning. Like it started off so strong with the story and everything. And then it just becomes, I don't know what it becomes. And something happens halfway. And then the rest of it becomes like the most boring fetch quest nonsense ever. And I'm like, why? So anyways, let me know in the comments below, what was the last game that you've had this experience with that like you just pushed yourself? And I tend to do this with my stuff because if I give up on a game too early, then I tend to make that a thing. I'll give up on a game, I'll go and try another game, and then it makes it easier for me to give up on that game as well. So I have to really be hating a game to just give up on it. But that hasn't happened lately. I just finished the game. I know. Let me know in the comments what you think. So we talk a lot about ANBERNIC, and I make fun of ANBERNIC a lot, but they finally did it. They've finally done it with me. ANBERNIC has the ANBERNIC RGSP coming. This is a clamshell handheld. It is a 3:2 aspect ratio, no weird forehead, no sticks. It is a Game Boy Advance SP clone in the way that it should have been 2 years ago, and it is finally coming in 4 of the ugliest colors I've ever seen, but it doesn't matter. They are going to resell it at some point with better colors. It does not matter. I am beyond excited. Handheld of the year for me. Absolutely. And you think I'm sarcastic here? I'm absolutely not being sarcastic here. This is something I've been waiting for 2 years now, since the 35XX SP. I have been complaining about it. Why can't we get a Game Boy Advance SP? We're going to get a Game Boy Advance, normal Game Boy Advance through INEO, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the SP has not been remade until now, and I am so very excited. Look, the H700 devices, of which there are like 14 of them, I get it. To see another one sucks. But I don't care. I don't care. Seeing these videos of the RGSP, I am all in. All in. You name the price, I am all in. Doesn't matter. I am buying this. I am in. This is my handheld. I cannot wait. So there's a lot that's lined up here for me. The no sticks, the no forehead, the actual being a Game Boy Advance SP with the aspect ratio and everything. And it's time. It's time. And the fact that it's a smaller handheld, we don't get a lot of those anymore. So I've been wanting this for so long. I don't know how you feel. I've seen some of the responses to this. Some are like, oh, it's another H700, I don't care. Some are like, oh, I have a 34XXP and a 35XXSP and I don't need this. And I get that, sure. But for everybody else, who is with me on this one? Is it just me on this one? Is it finally like, has it roles reversed where now I'm the one excited and everybody else is like, no? I need to know. Like, is this on your radar? Is the RGSP on your radar? Because it is on mine. I am unbelievably excited about this. Also, I reached out to ANBERNIC about this one. I'm like, hey, like I do for every single release that they have, can you send me a review unit for this? And usually they just ignore me, as usual. They used to send it to me, they don't anymore, whatever. Your boy's getting one. They are sending me one for a review. We will see if it arrives in time. It is apparently a very quick release, according to them. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but it's a quick release. So I'm getting one from them. Now, the last time they sent me something, they sent it through like 4PX or something, and it was 2 weeks, and everybody else got theirs in like a day, and so I had to wait. So I don't know if that's going to be the same scenario. I hope not. But I am beyond excited for this. So keep an eye out. We're going to talk all about the RGSP. I am hoping it's good. Everything points to it being good. If it is good, we're going to do a lot on it because I'm excited. So we'll talk about it soon. Speaking of handhelds that I am very excited for, this has been a very interesting week for me. The GKD 350H Ultra. Now, you might be wondering, why are you excited about GKD? And I've talked about this in the past. They don't usually nail down the software, so I'm very worried about the software part. However, The analog pocket screen is a screen that I have not really seen in any device that has been good. The Vert from Ioneo put it in there, but that was not a handheld for me. It didn't look great. This is a horizontal with the analog pocket screen, which is among one of my favorite screens that I have ever seen and ever played on. Like, it is an amazing screen. It's not even OLED. It is still amazing. So this GKD has that screen in a 3.5 inch. That's what it is, IPS. There's black or silver color, 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Who would have known? Wi-Fi, you got HDMI, you got Bluetooth, and it's an RK3576S processor, which is more than enough for what you would be playing on this type of screen. All that being said, this is a metal device. So it's got a glass front screen from what I can tell, but it's got a metal D-pad, metal buttons and everything, which is very weird, and it's metal. So it is premium price. It is $155 for this thing. More expensive than I think anybody's going to pay, except for me, because I am very much interested in this. Long story short, it is up for pre-order from Keep Retro. I bought one. I bought the silver one because that looks sexy, and I am super excited for this. Again, I want the smaller devices to come back. We have so many good bigger devices, and then we have all these mid-range devices that aren't quite pocketable, but aren't quite big, and so they're in this little weird range, but we don't have the smaller devices. And so the RGSP, the 350H, the Ioneo Pocket Micro 2, those types of devices I kind of like. This I'm very excited for. I'm very curious to see if this is good or not. Let me know in the comments. I'm curious about this one. Not a lot of people talk about it, but I'm curious if this is on your radar at all. It is obviously more expensive than you want it to be, but that screen is the selling point. For anybody that hasn't had an analog pocket, you are going to be blown away by the screen. Trust me. Now, just quickly, speaking of the Ioneo Pocket Micro 2, I bought one. I bought the white one. I know. All of my complaints to everything still apply, but I bought one because I had to. I'm stupid. I'm aware of this. I spent $309 something for US dollars for the white Pocket Micro 12 gigabyte of RAM, which does not need 12 gigabyte. I still am very angry at everything that happened there. I don't know why I bought one. It is apparently still in stock, so it is a very weird scenario where I don't know if they did like an artificial scarcity thing to pump it up or whatever. It doesn't matter. But it ships in October, so we're not going to talk about it again until October. Why did I buy one? I don't know. I'm stupid, but we'll talk about it in October for no reason. Like, I'm going to do a video on it, but like for like the 5 people that bought one, I don't know. I had to see it. It's such a sleek, nice looking device. And like compared to recent devices that are coming out, I'm just like, that looks amazing. But I'm still, you can yell at me all you want. I know. I shouldn't have bought it, but like, I did. Let's talk about the other Ioneo product. We talked about the Ioneo Conquer Pocket Advance last week or the week before, and how it was orange and it's just a Game Boy Advance, which is now, I'm thinking about it, they announced this and then ANBERNIC released the RGSP right afterwards. What is it with Ioneo? Have they just angered everybody in the market? Whenever they announce a product, it is usually AYN or Retroid that will release a competing product that is better. But in this scenario, it was ANBERNIC who did it. So they're just like, here's the RGSP right after Ioneo teases the Conquer Pocket Advance. Either way, they are teasing a purple Game Boy Advance clone. Now, you might be wondering, why am I excited about this if the 34XX exists from ANBERNIC? Simple reason is, I did not like the 34XX. Had small D-pad. The buttons were the weird rhombus shape. Rhombus, we're going to go with rhombus. So I don't like those buttons. I know that for Game Boy Advance only, that's fine. But if I want to play anything else, it just ruins it. And I also didn't like the triggers on it. There was a bunch of things I didn't like. This is kind of a more modern Game Boy Advance, and the triggers are now buttons instead of actual triggers. And the L1 and R1s are huge. I don't know. This looks good. Orange looks amazing. Purple looks amazing. These are just renders, but Ioneo tends to do pretty good on renders. They're not Retroid, where like they do a render and the color ends up being completely different. So I have faith on that. I think what I need to know here is price, as usual. It's the price, it's the release date, it's all of that stuff. But like, is this the year of the Game Boy Advance? Did everybody just wake up and they're just like, let's make Game Boy Advances this year? I guess. Can we do PPSSP or what? Why the emulator? Can we do PSPs next? Can we just do PlayStation Portables next, please? Give me a small PlayStation Portable. Give me a PSP Go, a proper one, not the RG Slide. We're not going to talk about that. But give me those two devices. Why don't we? Nobody ever remakes a PSP. It was extremely successful. Why don't they remake that one? I don't know. Maybe that's coming. Anyways, Conquer Pocket Advance. We'll talk about that when we get more information. Have you heard of the UY1? So this is made by designer Lao Zhang, who I could be wrong on this. I think he works with GKD. I remember him making GKD products, or I could be wrong about that. I know he made the Z1 Unicorn or the APG Unicorn, whatever it was. But I want to say he works on GKD too. I could be wrong. It doesn't matter. Either way, he is somebody who has made a lot of different products in this in the handheld space. But he is making something called the UY1 with a 3x2, 16x20, 1080 display, TMR joysticks, Hall effect triggers, metal frame, 6,000 milliamp hour battery. Now, that screen, for those that don't know, is the same one that is in the iNeo Pocket Ace, from my understanding, which is where my excitement comes from. But it looks awesome. It looks like, again, the GKD 350H Ultra, except with a 3x2 screen. Going back to my comment, is this the year of Game Boy Advance? Because apparently it is. I have complaints about this. The D-pad and buttons look like they're on a Zempic for some reason. So, I mean, if those were bigger, that'd be great. And then the button or the joysticks stick out a little too much for a device like this. But I am interested in this. I want to see pricing. I want to see the processor. I want to see more. This is going to be like a one-off sort of scenario with like only enthusiasts buying this, most likely. But I am part of the group that gets excited about devices that look like this. So let's see what happens. But if you haven't heard about this, keep an eye on it. Okay, and we finally got some specs on the MagMe Air Y and Air Y Pro. And mine just arrived yesterday. So this is it might have fingerprints all over it. I didn't clean it, but it's the MagMe Air Y Pro that got sent to me. So that's what I'm going to be doing a video on. I didn't get the Air Y, so we'll be talking about this. I think what everybody wants to know, and I'm going to be doing a live stream with Retro Handhelds before this goes live, I'm assuming, with how times work. What I was guessing is correct for those that need to know about the screen. The entire guesses that everybody had in the community is correct. So if that's what the information you were waiting on, hope that helps. But we'll talk about this on the 30th. That's when the review embargo goes up or is up. So I'll have a review up on the 30th and we'll talk about it and everything you need to know about the MagMe Air Y Pro on the 30th. Until then, we'll have the stream with Retro Handhelds earlier today. So go check that out. I'll probably put it in the description so you can go there. And then nothing from me until the 30th because of the way that the embargo works. So yeah, we'll talk about this later. But what we can talk about is the actual specs. So there is two different sets of specs here. The Air Y, we'll go over that first, has the Snapdragon 662 processor, which is the same as the MagMe Air X, 3 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of storage, active cooling, 4x2 or 4.2 inch, 1280 by 960 IPS screen. They both have the same screen. It is the iNeo Pocket Air mini screen. Just throwing that out there. Wi-Fi 5 plus Bluetooth 5.0, USB-C, single speaker, Android 14, 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 15 watt charging, and it weighs about 279 grams. On the Air Y Pro model, it is the Snapdragon 865, so same as the Retro Pocket 5, same as the MagMe Pocket Max and other devices like that. 4 gigabytes of RAM, but there is an 8 gigabyte of RAM option, which now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't even know that. I'm going to go check which model I have. 64 gigabytes of internal storage or 128 gigabytes of internal storage. Active cooling, same screen, Wi-Fi 6 plus Bluetooth 5.1, same USB-C, dual stereo speakers on the more expensive version, Android 13, so it does go back, 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 18 watt charging, and 286 grams of heaviness. Anyways, that is the specs. Not much else that we can talk about at the moment. We don't whole embargo and everything, so just keep an eye out. Next week, we'll have all the information that you need to know about these devices. Remember that Lenovo Legion C700 that we talked about a week or two ago? Well, we got some more information about it. It is set to release in China, August of 2026, of course. It has a 7.82-inch, 120 hertz display. That is interesting. That is a new screen as far as I'm aware. It does have TMR thumbsticks. It is pretty thin at 14.9 millimeters. And it weighs about 556 grams, which puts it on the higher end of Android devices, but still lower than PC handhelds, of course. The other information that I heard was that this has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor. 8 Gen 3, the same that the Conqueror has, which makes me very interested in this. I'm very interested in this either way. This looks like it might be an amazing streaming device. So I'm hoping Lenovo nails this one. It could be China only. That would be a big wrinkle in this, in which case you just have to import it from AliExpress. But let's keep an eye on this one. I'm very interested in this, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, as a friendly reminder, even though we talked about it at the beginning of this newscast, come join the Play Retro Games Club. Our current games are Sonic Advance, that is our game of the week until Sunday, so you still have some time. It takes an hour to beat. It's really easy. Conker's Bad Fur Day, Super Mario Bros. Enhance, which is the ROM hack for Super Nintendo, and Kingdom Hearts, which is our game of the season. You still have 2 more months to play that. So lots of time. Play some games, come join the Discord. You can just talk in that part of the Discord. You don't even have to interact with the rest of it. Just play some games, have some fun. There's a lot of us. It's been great. Just come join. As always, we end off the newscast with the newscast Q&A. So send in your questions to newscast@joeysretrohandhelds.com, or there's a Discord channel. You can send it in through there, whatever's easier. First question comes in from Balls. I'm just calling him Balls. He has a longer name. Do you have a game that frustrates you with its content or mechanics, but can't help but think about it occasionally? Mine is Gran Turismo on PSP. Never have I seen a game have so much content, but do so little with it. Every single Souls-like game, you name it, all of them, they always come out. Despite the fact that I do not like any of them, I buy it, I play it, I hate it within the first hour or whatever, and then I never do it again. And it always gets me. It's always the same FOMO of, oh, this game is amazing, it's whatever, like Elden Ring. Oh my God, everybody loves this thing. Okay, I'll go try it. I go try it. I hate this thing. Why am I doing this to myself? And it's the same, I constantly do it. And it isn't a skill thing. These games are all memorization. Anybody can do that. It's like, I don't find it fun. That's where that's the frustration, is I don't find it fun. It's not, there's no bone in my body that gets the rush from banging my head against the boss for like an hour, finally beating it and being like, yes, that was awesome. Like, that is not for me. I want to experience as many different games as possible. So like, I want to play games, and I don't like the roadblocks like that. Like, if your game has stupid saving where like you're in, like, arcade games are bad for this. Like, you get to like the 7th stage of 8, you die. You have to start from stage 1. I pack it up, I'm gone. Or I'll turn on cheats or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, that is the kind of stuff that like I am not a big fan of. And Souls-like games do it a lot, where like you get to the boss and then you die and you're like, okay, you start off at whatever the grace respawn point, whatever you want to call it. You have to go back through enemies that you fought earlier. You got to fight them again, get all the way to the boss again. And then it just, so much time wasted on my end. And I'm not saying that anybody that enjoys those games shouldn't. It's just, for me personally, that's where my frustration is. So those games, not for me, to answer your question, but it was a good question. Thank you. Next question comes in from Mash Ketchum. Hey there, I am Joe from Fort Worth, Texas. I keep about 10 games per system on my handheld. I find I play more games and spend less time choosing a game. My question is, what games are on every handheld do you use? Just a short list of must-have games would be awesome. It's a great question. Super Mario World, Pokemon, all the Pokemons, all the Pokemon games. Back to Harvest Moon, Back to Nature for PlayStation 1. Trying to think here. for Fire Emblem games. Every single Fire Emblem game ever made is on every single device. I'm a bit weird though because I have sync thing. So I just sync everything to all of my devices, which means I have my entire library, which is a cut down library. It's still bigger than normal because I test a lot of games that people ask for, but like it's a harder question for me because I don't have to think about that. I just sync it. And so it's all there for me. But yeah, generally like Pokemon games, Fire Emblem games, Harvest Moon Back to Nature, Super Mario World and all the Super Mario games, all of that. I'm kind of boring in that way. Like those are the games that I like the most, but I am playing so many other different games. It's just, Final Fantasy games as well would be another one. Dragon Quest games. There's a lot. There's a lot, but it's a good question. Next question comes in from Draven. What made you want to start updating and pursuing the Play Retro Games Club? Just wanted more people involved for competition, or perhaps just bored, or legitimately just wanted to push people to play more games however you could? Money where my mouth is, it's play more games, right? I have been preaching that for so long, and I do videos on like my progress through games. Like if you saw my 2025 video on the games that I played through that year, this year I'm smashing those numbers with number of games played. But like, I just continually see like people not using these devices for games, and it makes me sad. It's constant, like I spent X number of hours doing this instead of playing games, and like you go and see the recently played and they haven't played a game in like a month, and that's unfortunate. Like these devices are made to play games on. I don't know why you would buy one of these devices if you're not playing games. It makes no sense. So money where my mouth is, why not help the community play more games? That's literally the only reason, because there's no monetary value. If anything, I spent money trying to do all of this. So for me, it's just like, how do I get people more involved? And we've always had the Game of the Month, ROM Hack of the Month, Game of the Season for 2 years now. But the number of people playing has been low. And so I've always, and people on my Discord can attest to this, I've always tried to brainstorm different ideas of like, how do I get more people to play? How do I get more people involved on the Discord or even outside the Discord to come in and play more games? And I've tried different things over the years. None of them really worked. And then I was like, okay, let me do a full revamp of everything. Let me add some cool things. Leaderboards, I'll make a bot, I'll make it automated, all of that sort of thing. And it worked. Like one of the biggest things was adding Game of the Week. A lot of people love Game of the Week, which is really cool. But it worked. So like, I guess what was needed was just, number one, drawing attention to it. That was probably the biggest thing, making a dedicated video, just like, hey, come play. But number two, making the bot, which has all the functions and features that everybody needs to make it a really cool experience. So it's not just like, hey, come play a game and submit a picture and you're done. There's like little leaderboards, there's little trivia, there's little things that I've been adding that help improve the experience so that it feels more like a community rather than like, this is just a channel that you play games in, which was what it was before. So long story short, and selfishly, it's for me as well. All these games are things that help keep me on track as well. Like I probably never would have played Kingdom Hearts, in all honesty. Never would have done it. Or Conker's Bad Fur Day. But they're Game of the Month and Game of the Season. It forces me now to play those games. Instead of just playing another Pokemon ROM hack or another Pokemon game or staying in my bubble, I expand out of my bubble. And I've been doing that for so long. Except if anybody ever recommends or nominates Shenmue ever again, a Shenmue game, I'm shutting it all down. We're done with the whole thing. Hopefully that answers your question. Next question comes in from Leonidas. Now that your arcade cabinet has been set up for a little bit, do you still play as much? Are you still happy with your purchase decision? Absolutely. I played it for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Game of the Week, which was 2 weeks ago now. I don't play it every day. I play my pinball machine every day. I don't play the arcade machine every day. I have to be in the mood for it. Like one thing you have to know about my situation here is I have a ton. And I have a ton because I get bored. So like I have the Guitar Hero, I have the Rock Band thing, I have the microphone, I have the taiko drums, I have the arcade machine, pinball machine, I have all my handhelds, I have a PS5, I have a Switch 2, I have all these things because I am somebody who gets very bored really quickly. And so I need to switch over to something. So I'll probably get like an inclination, a motivation to be like, okay, I'm going to go play arcade now and I'm going to play that for a week, every day for a week. And then I might not touch it again for like 2 weeks or a month or whatever. But has it been a great purchase? Absolutely. I love that thing. putting my own computer on it, setting it all up with Sind and light guns and everything. I love it. It's great. I recommend it. Next question comes in from Danica. This is a bit of a long one, so let me see if I can paraphrase this a little bit. Hey, Joey, I'm in a bad situation. I could use your advice. They poured hot soup on their Odin 2 and broke it. If you remember, Danica was somebody who was asking for advice a few weeks ago on what to do, but they had an Odin 2, and so I was like, okay, don't worry about it. You got an Odin 2. Like, just ignore everything. She can't live without it and doesn't want an A to lead or anything like that and just wants something to replace the Odin 2. I checked. The only thing that was available in Manila is the Retro Pocket 6. I know how much you recommend the Portal, and I was thinking that, but they're not readily available here, and it would have to be shipped via DHL, and that's a lot more expensive compared to the RP6. Should I just grab the RP6 from a local game store or go for the Portal and save up? This is a tough one. Not because I don't think the RP6 is good. It is good. And coming from an Odin 2, it would be an upgrade. But it is a very different device than the Portal. Like, this is I don't know what the price difference is if we're considering this. Like, are we talking like $100 between RP6 and the Portal? In which case, okay, sure, I get it. RP6 all the way. Are we talking $20? $30? That would push me towards the Portal. The Portal is... It's so hard to do this and guess in people's situations. The Portal is like a no compromise device in any way. The RP6 is, kind of. And I don't mean that as a knock against the RP6. I think it's a really cool device. But it's not the Portal. That being said, if you're coming from an Odin 2, I think you would be happy with either of them. I think if you're going RP6, you go stick top. And I think you'd be fine. It might not be as comfortable as the Odin 2 is, depending on how much you like the comfort of the Odin 2, because it is smaller. But this is a hard one for me to do, because this is such a personal decision. And it seems like there's external price factors affecting this. Portal, if it's not too much that much more expensive, otherwise, then RP6 is good. You'd probably like the purple or something. The purple looks really cool. It's a hard one. This is a hard one. That's my answer. I'm going with that. That's it. That's my answer. Last question of the day. Yes, it was a long one, and I want to get everybody's in. Last question of the day comes in from Waffle Ben. Greetings, Joey. I back up my data to my PC once a week, and I only play certain systems on the two handhelds I have. Example, 3DS and DS. I only play on the Thor. All other systems I play on the Odin 3. One other note, I only play one game at a time until I finish it. I had watched your two comprehensive guides, I think he means, on SyncThing, and I thought the time that I would spend setting this up could instead be used playing a game. My question for you is, am I odd for not using SyncThing and just backing up data a little differently? No, not at all. The biggest thing that you're already doing is backing up data in case you lose it. That being said, you're doing it weekly. What happens if it's been 6 days and you lose your save and you've been playing for those 6 days? How mad would you be, I guess is the question. Because if the answer is really mad, because I would be really mad, then maybe SyncThing is the answer. And look, you don't have to, we talk about SyncThing and syncing across different devices. You can just sync your device to your PC. You don't have to sync it across different devices if you don't want to. Like I do that. I sync it across all of my devices, but you don't have to do that. You could just sync your Thor to your PC. That way your saves are always backed up. You don't have to worry about it. You could sync your Odin 3 to the PC separately. That way it's always backed up. And that way you're saved. So it's not, you don't have to make it a whole big thing if you don't want to. There is layers to this, but it just goes back to like, how comfortable are you? Like you're doing it once a week. If you were to lose a 6-day save, how mad would that make you? If the answer is mad, then maybe look at SyncThing. It doesn't hurt. Like it's something that's easily set up. Once you understand it, it's easy to set up and you could come join the Discord if you get stuck, but that would be my answer, is think about it. If you were to lose a save after 6 days, how mad would that make you? If the answer is really mad, then set up SyncThing. That is going to be it for this one. This is a long one, and I have to go and do the Retro Handhelds live stream now. I don't have a watch. I'm looking at my wrist. In like an hour or two, so I'm out of breath and out of voice, but I appreciate you all for watching. Go check out the live stream because it's going to be before this. Go check out the live stream if you want to learn about the Magmi Air Y Pro. Appreciate you all for watching, and that's all from me, Big Beaver, Saskatoon.